So our today's session is on reading. Now, reading is a second session for IELTS examination. Now, reading examination is conducted for 1 month. Now, reading examination is totally the same examination we used to do in our school days. In our school examination, a comprehensive passage will be given. What we used to do is we used to read the passage and 3 to 4 questions will be given. What you have to do is you have to find the answers from the question itself. Okay, for reading the passage itself. Now, reading is the same for IELTS examination. What they will do is they will give you passage, okay, and they will give you 40 questions. Now, in order to find the answers of the questions, you have to read the passage and find the answers. Okay. Now, reading examination you have to complete within 1 hour of time. Okay. In your reading how it is second session. At first, in your IELTS examination, listening examination will be given, and after that, your reading ka question paper and an answer sheet will be given. Okay, which you have to complete within 1 hour of time. Now, reading exam for academic and for general training students it is different. The format for both is same only, but the passage that is given for academic and for general student it is slightly different. So at first we will discuss about academic students. For academic students, three reading comprehensive passage will be given. Okay, now your each reading comprehensive passage will be approximately 2500 to 2700 words long. Okay, now what they will do is they will give you 40 questions. 40 questions will be given. Now, in order to secure 6 bands, you have to correctly answer 23 correct answers. Then only you will get 6 bands. Okay, and so also the academic students level of language that is used to complete the comprehensive passage which will be little bit on higher mode than the general training student. Now, general training students, as you people are going for PR purpose, the level of the language that is used in your passage will be little bit lower one, intermediate level. Okay, it would not be very complex nor complicated. Now, academic students, the language that is used in your passage will be little bit on higher note, but the answers would be really easy. Questions will be really easy. You can get direct answers from the questions from the passage. Okay, but for general student, as your passage will be completely easy, the answer of the questions will be a little bit tricky. Okay, and answers you may not find directly in your passage. You have to little bit use your applied brain. You have to read twice the sentences, then only you will come across the correct answers. Okay, you may think that this is my correct answer, but you have to read once again to make sure that is only the your correct answer. Academic students, direct answer. General students, little bit tricky questions will be there. Now, for general students, again, you will be having 3 sections only, but your first 2 sections will be advertisement. 2 advertisement plus 1 reading passage will be given. The last passage that will be given to you will be as long as the academic students passage. To advertisement in the sense the newspaper advertisement that you used to see, classified one, that something is for sale or something they want or something is for rent. Okay, some advertisements are there. That sort of new many classified advertisements will be given to you in first 2 sections. Okay, and it is not necessary that they will give you advertisement only. Nowadays in your IELTS examination, rather than giving you advertisement, they give you short passages. So in section 1 they will give you 2 short passage, section 2 another 2 short passages, and last question, last section, it will be very long passage. Okay, now again they will give you 40 questions only. Questions will be the same. Okay, now in order to secure 6 bands you have to correctly answer 30 questions. Okay, if you will give 30 correct answers, then only you will get 6 bands, as the level of language that is used for you is lower one, so they are expecting you to get correct answers 30 to get 6 bands. So that is all about it. Okay, again, there is nothing called negative marking in reading examination, so don't leave any answers unattempted. As well as in your reading examination, you should write all the answers in block letters only. You don't have to write any answers in cursive handwriting. Write down all the answers in capital letters only. Okay, so this is your basic about your reading examination. Now we will discuss about types of question that will be given to you. Okay, now the first type of question that they will give you is fill in the blanks, and second type of question will be short answer question. Now in fill in the blanks in short answer question, again you can write one word answer, two word answer, or maximum you can write three word answer. You don't have to write more than three words. So I'll write here no more than three words. Okay, third is match the following. Now match the following is the same as we used to do in match the following is the same as we used to do in school days. They will give you set of questions on A side, okay, and its jumbled answers would be on B side, okay. Now what you have to do is you have to read question 1 and you have to find the answers from this jumbled answers, okay. So it is the same as we used to do in our school days. Now fourth one is headings and endings. Okay, now headings and endings, you see the passages will be having n numbers of paragraph. Okay, now what you have to do is you have to give headings to that paragraph. Again, you don't have to write anything. Okay, what they will do is they will give you a list of headings also. So what ultimately you have to do is you have to go now. For example, they have asked you the heading of paragraph A. What you have to do is you have to go read paragraph A, understand, and you have to find the answers from the list itself. Okay, now endings is also the same. Okay, what now endings are also the same. What will happen is like they will give you incomplete lines from the paragraph. What you have to do is you have to complete the lines. Again, you don't have to write anything. They will give you list of endings also. What you have to do is you have to find the answers from the list itself. Now fifth one is MCQs. That is your multiple choice question will be given, 3 to 4 alternatives will be given. What you have to do is you have to find the answer from the multiple, from the choices itself. Okay, now sixth one is true, false, or not given. Seventh is yes, no, or not given. Now, true, false, and yes, no, we have already done in our school days, but here the examiner wants to check our presence of mind. So, let me explain the difference between true, false, not given, or yes, no, not given. Okay, now, when the question that is given to you, so, okay, when the question that is given to you matches with the information given in the passage, okay, it will be true or false. So right here, if the information given in the question matches with the information given in the passage, write true or yes. Okay, now if the information, now why I'm writing particularly information is because it may happen that if you are trying to match the words which is given in the question with the words given in the passage, you will get incorrect answers. So don't try to match the keywords. What you have to do is you have to understand the information in the passage, and then you have to write the answer true or yes. Okay, it is not like either true or either yes you have to write. In your instruction of the question, they will mention it particularly, write true, false or not given. Okay. Sorry. So if in the instruction, if it is written write true, and by mistake if you have written yes, they will give you wrong. So what you have to do is you have to read carefully the instruction that is given to you. So this is the case. You will write true or yes. Now second case is that when you will write false or no. Okay, false is written when the information given in the question contradicts, that means mismatches with the information given in the passage. At that time you have to write false or no. So I will write here, if the information given in the passage or given in the question contradicts with the information given in the passage, write false or no. Again you have to read the instruction. It is not like either one of this. Okay, you have to read the instruction. If it is written false, write false only. If you have written no, it wouldn't go. They will give you wrong only. Now not given, you see false and not given, you would find it very much similar, but there is very thin line between false, no or not given. In not given, what happens is the information that is given in the question, okay, the information that they have given in the question does not have, okay, the passage does not mention anything about it, it will be not given. Okay, so I will write here, if the information given in the question does not have or does not matches with the does not matches or the information given in the question is extra than the information given in the passage, you have to write not given. Okay, so any information that is carried in the passage is more sorry, carried in the question has some information which you do not find anything in the passage, it will be always not given. Okay, so what we will do now is we will see a short exercise how to distinguish between true, false or not given. Okay, so this is my first passage. Okay, uh, it is proven that smoking causes cancer. Okay, so this is the passage. Okay, based on this they have given you three questions. Question number one, there is no evidence that smoking causes cancer. Second is smoking causes cancer. Third is smoking and drinking causes cancer. Okay, so these are three passages. This is the passage, and related to this, they have given you this many questions. Now, first one, the answer will be there is no evidence that smoking causes cancer. The answer here would be false. The reason why it is false is that here they have written no evidence that contradicts completely with the question, the passage that is given, that is proven and no evidence are contradictory. That means it does not match, and because of that the answer is false. Now next is smoking causes cancer. Obviously it is written here, it is proven. So this is true. Okay, smoking causes cancer and it is proven that smoking causes cancer. So this is true. The next one is smoking and drinking causes cancer. Okay, smoking and drinking causes cancer. Okay, now smoking and drinking causes cancer. Here, the information given in the passage is all about smoking. There is no extra information about drinking. Okay, so here the extra information is there about drinking, and because of that, it is not given. Okay, fine. So this is how you will distinguish between true, false and not given. One more thing that you have to remember is reading is something, reading at first is a skill. Finding answer is also a skill. Okay, so at first you will find it little bit difficult to distinguish between false, not given, true and all. Okay, you have to practice it every day in order to realize, in order to find better answers. At first, if you will solve, it may happen that you will only get 25 to 26 correct answers. But as you improve, as you solve every day, you will get far more correct answers. Now about headings, how to solve headings. Okay, now headings and is true false not given are the two notorious topics in your reading that every student may fail difficulties. Okay, may face literal difficulties while solving. Now there is very simple information, or there is very simple method to find the headings of the passage. What you have to do is, for finding the head sorry, to find the headings of the paragraph, what to get the headings of the paragraph, what you have to do is, you have to at first read the first sentence of the paragraph. Okay, so I will write here read first or second. Okay, first two I will write, first two sentences of the paragraph. Okay, now your paragraph's central idea lies in the first two sentences of the paragraph. Okay, so while you will read first two sentences, you will get the central idea. Central idea lies within the first two sentences of the paragraph. So after reading the first two sentences of the paragraph, again now what you have to do is, it doesn't mean that you have to stop over there and try to find the headings. No. Okay, after reading that you have to predict that maybe my paragraph is talking about this thing. Okay, so after prediction, further you read. If you are trying to find the answer reading the middle portion of the paragraph, you will get always the incorrect answer. The reason behind it is, like between the first two sentences and last sentence, usually they write example. Okay, and the problem to find the headings is, like, now for example there are 5 paragraphs, they will give you 8 list of headings, and you will find that every list of headings has having similar one. That is because what they do is the keywords that they are giving in the example, that only keywords they write in the list of headings. So for you to find the answers would be little bit tricky. So don't fall into the prey fall into the prey after reading the example. What you can do is read first two sentence of the paragraph, like predict that maybe my paragraph is talking about this thing, then you read further. After reading the last sentence, you will be having clear picture what your paragraph is all talking about. Okay, then you go read the list of headings. Okay. Read further, confirm the idea after reading last sentence. Okay, and then read the list of headings. Never ever read the list of headings at first. Okay, don't read the list of headings first. At first read the paragraph, then you go to list of headings. Now don't read all the headings, list of the headings together. Okay, that is really a bad method. What you can do is put your hands and close the list. Okay, you read list 1. Okay, do you think that it matches with your paragraph A? No, go ahead. Does it match with paragraph B? No, go ahead. You feel that it matches with sorry, paragraph A, the third heading matches with paragraph A. What you can do is here that will be written para A. Okay, so there what you can do is in the question booklet itself you are doubtful but you are not very sure, so in that case what you can do is list of heading, third one you can write, then you read further. Fourth, no. Fifth, no. Sixth, yes, I feel that the answer may be sixth also, so what you can do is write sixth also, then you go ahead read the other paragraph. Now after solving maybe paragraph D ka answer, confirm answer you will get, it is sixth one. Okay, so then what you can do is you can strike this out. Okay, so this method you can use to uh, get the answer correctly of headings. Okay, don't strike out the options, keep options intact. Okay, don't feel that I have used it so I cannot use it one more time. What you can do it, if you feel that paragraph A's answer is this and paragraph C answer also I'm finding the same answer, read again the paragraph and reconfirm the answers. Okay, so now one more thing that you have to remember is no extra time will be given to you to solve your writing sorry, to transfer your answers into the answer sheet. So make sure you're writing all the answers directly in your answer sheet. No extra time will be given to you to transfer the answers into the. Okay, so no extra time will be given to you to transfer the answers. No extra time will be given to transfer the answer in the answer sheet. So what all the answers that you are writing, make sure it is in fair form and you have to write answers directly into the answer sheet. So write all answers directly into the answer sheet. If you feel troubled that I'm not getting an answer correct, what you can do is you can circle that in the question. For example, eighth question answer you are not able to find, it is very notorious. Okay, you are not at all getting it, don't waste your time to find the answer. Okay, circle it and you go ahead, you solve everything. Okay, and then you come back to the eighth question and read the passage again and then find the answer. Now you might be having trouble that how you will solve your passage. Okay, so I will write here, okay, how to solve your passage. Okay, now there are two ways to solve the passage. The first one is at first read the questions first, and then you can read the passage. So I will write here, read the question first, then read the passage accordingly to find the answer. Okay, so what you can do is read question 1. Okay, your question 1 is asking this type of answer, you will get a clear picture, and then you can go to the paragraph and then you can find the answer. So this is something like you are reading just to find the answer. Okay, so again here don't forget to underline the keywords. Okay, underlining the keywords is important. For example, if you are not finding the answer also, 1 to 5 question is from paragraph 1 2 3 4 5, maybe sixth question will be again from paragraph 1. So if you're not underlining the keyword, again you have to go ahead, read the whole paragraph again. So make sure you're underlining the keyword. Okay, keyword is the most important word. For example, name of the scientist in the year which he has done any discovery, name of the place where he has done discovery. Okay, it is not necessary to underline each and every word. The main words in the paragraph only you have to underline. Okay, now second way to the second way to find the read the passages, what you can solve the passages, what you can do is you can read the passage at first. Read the passage first. Okay, how you will read the passage? You just have to skim and scan the words. Okay, skimming and scanning in the sense means that you just have to run your eyes through the passage. Okay, you don't have to read each and every word and try to understand. Always remember you are reading for a purpose, and that your purpose is to find the answers. That's it. So locate the words, like which paragraph is talking about what and what is all about. Okay, so you will get at first a picture that what your passage is about. Okay, so at first skim and scan the words, skim and scan the passage. How you will skim and scan the passage? By reading by underlining the keyword. Okay, after underlining the keyword, again what you have to do is go read questions. Okay, and then you try to find the answer. One of the benefit, if you are picking the second method is okay, now you have located the words. So now if you will read the question, you will come to know that yes, I have read this topic in paragraph 1 ka second line or third line. So directly you can locate the answers. If you do not want to do this, it's okay, fine, you can read question first, you can adapt any one of this method. Okay, don't waste too much time to understand the alien words that is given in the passage. You have to like what you have to do is you have to read the sentence and you have to predict that maybe my paragraph maybe my this new word that I have come across is means maybe this. You have to just predict. The reason behind it is if you will try and find the answer, find the if you will try and if you will put all your effort to understand the word, it may happen that you will not get enough time to solve all the 40 questions. Okay, and always remember, uh, you are not reading to understand the passage, you are only reading to get the answers. For that, what you have to do is you have to only skim and scan, just run through your run your eyes through the paragraph. Okay, and you will get the answer. Okay, so this is all about reading. If you are having any doubts, you can call me and ask, you can message me and ask any more doubts. If you are having, just let me know. Okay, so thank you to attend the class. Thank you.